Hello everyone and welcome back to ABG's Point of View, where I give you my analysis on the most popular topics in the world today. In today's video, we will be discussing the 10 ways on how to, actually the 10 types of anger that they are out there, the different emotions. And I may have two more extras, but in each one, I will break down how to handle what it is and how to handle it. We do a lot of stories over here at ABG's POV with a lot of people with anger management issues, going off, going crazy, you name it, it's done. So what I'm basically gonna do is just break down I'm gonna do the top 10. If we have time permitting, I'll do the next two that I saw. If not, then we'll discuss that in a later video. In the meantime, between time, if you're new here, welcome to ABG's Point of View. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. That'll bring more loving and wonderful people over, similar to yourself. To all my normal subscribers, thanks for coming back. Starting from the top, we got assertive anger. Assertive anger is considered a constructive form of anger expression. Rather than avoiding a conversation or being prone to outbursts of screaming or yelling, assertive anger is used as a healthy, productive expression of frustration to make positive change. All right, now here's an example of that one. You and your girlfriend, you and your significant other, you want a friend, whomever you want to place in that place, you can put them in there. You have a conversation with them, and you may have done something. The other person may turn around and say, hey, listen, this is what makes me angry. And they break down what makes them angry, why they get upset. Okay, and it may be something that you just did. So assertive is basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to, bring you in, allow you to know how much and what makes them upset, and hopefully you don't do it later on. Now that assertive anger could turn into a different type of anger, but that's just the beginning point of, anger. The second one is a behavior anger. Behavior anger is a physical reaction common in men with anger issues. This can be dangerous as it may be expressed through violence, potentially slipping into destructive or displaced anger. Behavior anger is impulsive and unpredictable, sometimes ending with unhealthy legal or interpersonal consequences. Okay, I did a video on several men that had anger issues. One comes to mind, Zach Stacy, when he slung his girlfriend all over the apartment. While his son was sitting there. This is behavior anger. Okay, if you want to see that video, I'll link the card in there, and that way you can jump right into that one. But it's one of the situations where he lashed out. He must have heard some information that she wanted to break up, and she moving on, and he couldn't handle it. You know what I'm saying? So he displayed the type of anger that I'm talking about, behavior anger, and basically mopped her up all over across the apartment. So it wasn't, I didn't say it to be funny, but it's just still one of the situations where he should have did better, but he just didn't. And he, faced the consequences. Number 3 is chronic anger. And chronic anger is typically directed toward other people, situations, and events, and even yourself, which can impact self-esteem. Sometimes it can fly under the radar while simultaneously causing a lot of damage. Chronic anger looks like a continuous low-level feeling of anger, resentment, irritability, and frustration. As mentioned above, it can apply to others, specific situations, or yourself. Because of how you experience anger, you may have difficulty processing and expressing your needs, which can impact your health, stress levels, and relationships. So chronic anger is something where it's almost like someone says you're bipolar. You know what I'm saying? And you may get upset about a certain situation, and you constantly just going off. You know what I'm saying? It's not, it's based off of something, triggering you, but it should be able to be handled. But unfortunately, it's chronic, so that means it's constantly happening over and over and over again. So the fourth one is destructive anger. And this can be almost the same as the second one, behavior anger. Destructive anger is a significantly unhealthy experience of anger that can have multiple negative impacts. While there is limited research on this type of anger, it is often seen as connection with the extreme end of behavior anger, as I said. This may include extreme irritability or even hatred of others, even when it isn't warranted. We all know what destructive means. We know what anger is a feeling. Destructive is not positive whatsoever. So you're running around breaking things, you're tearing things up, even if it's not necessary for you to do all that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get the job. You punch, you know what I'm saying? You slamming the lamp all over the place, or you watching the basketball game and a guy misses a shot, you punch a hole through the TV. Stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So, it's not warranted. It doesn't make any sense, so it shouldn't happen. The fifth one is judgmental anger. Judgmental anger is often a reaction to some perceived slight, someone else's flaws, if you feel they impact you, or an injustice against you or someone else. Judgmental anger is identified in people's core beliefs, a basic perspective or understanding of the world. This core belief can generally be one of the feelings that you are better than or worse than others, leading you to judge them and become angry about their actions or expressions. Different cultures have different judgmental angers. One comes to mind, black folks. People always say we are always angry, always upset, and you're being judgmental about what you see from the news clippings. Every black person is not upset. Every black person is not mad. Every black person is not a criminal. You know what I'm saying? So when you're being judgmental and then you get upset when you see this kind of, activity, as soon as you see someone that looks like them that did something wrong, you get an attitude and you get upset. See, this is the reason why I don't like them, for no reason. When you haven't given that individual a chance, to prove otherwise. The sixth one is overwhelmed anger. Overwhelmed anger is unpredictable and can impact your mental health over time. This type of anger builds up, especially when you don't find ways to express or communicate how you feel. This one is you're mad at your kids. You're mad at your girlfriend. You're mad at your significant other, a friend. You brush it off. Whatever. But it constantly sits inside of you and you haven't really dealt with it. So basically you're just pushing it back. I get to it later. And then over time, you start to have a meltdown. Okay, that's not good. So you want to address that situation as soon as you get it, as soon as it happens. If it's something that you don't like, talk to that person about it. You know what I'm saying? We all are guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. I'm quick to, put something off, but, for the most part, you know what I'm saying? You can't really beat yourself up over it. You know what I mean? Passive-aggressive anger. Passive-aggressive anger is an avoidant form of expression. It's the kind of anger that occurs when you suppress how you feel and attempt to avoid all types of conflicts. It can be dangerous as your self-esteem levels are often impacted by anger. As such, and passive-aggressive anger can also have a negative influence on your relationships. Basically what you're doing, you upset someone, you know what I'm saying, but you brush it off and kind of like not really addressing it. It's almost the same as the previous one, overwhelmed anger. So it's just different names for them. They just, passive-aggressive, like, you mad at them, but you kind of like pushing it off. So it's not really affecting you to the point where you want to hurt somebody, but you pushing it off and it's like, so you just got to know how to diagnose which one it is and, handle it the way you need to handle it, and it'll all be all good. The eighth one is retaliatory anger. Retaliatory anger is a common reaction and instinct response to being attacked. It can be influenced by the need of revenge after experiencing a perceived hurt. So, someone hurts you, you looking to get revenge. Simple as that. That's the most common type of anger that you see out here nowadays. You know, and we got to be careful with that, because that'll land you in jail, that'll land you in court, that'll land you in the grave. So you have to be careful with that one, because things happen. You know, the ninth one is self-abusive anger. Self-abusive anger tends to be connected with shame. This type of anger has been seen in people experiencing low self-esteem or feelings of worthlessness and hopelessness. Self-abusive anger is also commonly used to help cope with these feelings, even though it can only push people further away. You want to avoid this one, because you don't want to beat yourself up. You may feel like you failed in life. You know what I'm saying? You know, you didn't get that job, you didn't get that girlfriend, you wasn't able to have enough money to close on the house. You know, tried to get a car, your credit terrible. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them type of situations where you beat yourself up because you wasn't able to pull it off and get what you wanted to get, or do what you wanted to do. So, you know, always think highly of yourself. Always keep your head up no matter what the situation is, and you'll be fine. Due to the constraints of time, I'm going to give you just the top 10. And later on, maybe in another video, I may throw these other two in, and we'll go from there. You know, I may mention them, and then you can do your own research. I'll leave the link in the description of the article that I'm reading. The last one is, which is number 10, silent anger. Silent anger is a nonverbal Silent anger is a nonverbal internal way of experiencing anger. Although you may not verbally express it, it is possible for others to read that you're angry. People who experience silent anger tend to keep these feelings inside and allow them to build up, which can lead to increased stress, tension, and behavior related to overwhelmed anger. Okay, and this last one, silent anger is you basically holding everything in and you're not saying nothing. You're holding a grudge. That's just the best way I could put it. When you hold a grudge against someone and you ain't saying nothing, you ain't trying to deal with it, you gotta be careful, because that over time can kill your mental stress, okay? Your mental makeup of yourself, and cause you to have all kinds of health issues. If you have any issues as far as with any of these angers, what you need to do is let it out. Don't hold on to it, and once you let it go, it'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hold on to anything, because all that stuff does is deteriorate your body, your mind, and that's not a good place. So the last two are verbal anger and volatile anger. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the description. That way you can look at those last two, the bonus ones that I had. In the meantime, between time, that's the end of the video. If you like what you've heard, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the like button as well. It'll bring more awesome, loving, and wonderful people over, similar to yourself. Share this video with someone that has anger issues, and let them see how they can handle their anger and what they need to do about addressing their issues. With that being said, now that I've said all that, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I pray that you continue to support me in this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.